to an already rough day on the legs. Yes, the only way to get out of this gym is to take the stairs. It is episode 280 of Genius Take the Wheel. I am your host, Dr. Evil Genius, as always. And it is just another leg day here in New York City. Today was a rough one, but it was rewarding. Now, for those that looked at episode number 278 a week ago, I gave a short synopsis of how bad it was. But to let you guys know, it did not go well last Sunday at all. And so I am very grateful, very thankful that I felt so much better on Wednesday. You guys see how I felt episode 279, and now today was a big day for me because I was not very confident coming in because of just how bad it was last week. But I got some of my confidence back. From how good Wednesday was. So I got up a bit earlier. I got to the gym. Well, I got out of the house earlier than normal. But I did struggle to actually really get in the right frame of mind. But once I did, things went pretty okay. So, I got a pretty good parking spot today. So that felt good. Which means I'm going to have to go to bed earlier on Saturdays, which is not always going to be possible. Because you guys know that there is the Filthy Casual MMA watch party. And most of the time that's going to happen pretty late. But if I can get up early on Sundays, I can get my pick of parking spots in the Times Square area, that would be great, But, yeah. Today I felt really good to start. Things went pretty quickly. But here's the thing. When I left early today, I left having really not taken in any calories. And that really, really put me behind the 8 ball. Because as well as things started with the squat and the leg press, I started to get pretty lightheaded on the leg press. That's when I kind of knew I was in a little bit of trouble. I knew I was in a little bit of trouble on the leg press. And I got really, really, really dizzy after set 2 at 495. It was in the middle of 3 sets of 8 at 495 in the leg press. So that's when I kind of figured that I was in a little bit of trouble. But, it wasn't so bad in the end. But I knew I was in a bit of trouble once I got really lightheaded where I thought I could possibly pass out after set 2, but I forged ahead. After the leg press, I got my shit together with the RDL to switch into hip hinge mode, away from squat mode. And it got better. But right as I was starting to really, really feel really good, that's when things kind of fell off a cliff energy-wise. And so, I did my, bar 135, 225 on the RDL. And then I went to put the bar on the ground for 365, and I actually did pretty okay for the first 3 sets. I actually did okay. And I actually did okay. And that last set, I just could not catch my breath. I started to get really lightheaded, and I went to just, grit my way through the last set of 8 at 365 in the deadlift. I was just going to grit my way through it. And what ended up happening instead was I just could not muster anything else up after the 4th repetition on set 4. And so I figured, you know what? Let me just catch my breath. I'll just do another set of 4 to get all 8 reps, and all will be well, right? And I set up. I got lightheaded. I just could not generate any more tension or force in my hamstrings or glutes anymore. I was neurologically fucking finished, and I wasn't that upset about it. I mean, yeah, I'm a little upset about it, but I wasn't really that upset about it because I knew that it was all that I had for the day that would not have unnecessarily risked injury. So, last week for the deadlift, it was 1 set of 8 at 365 and 2 sets of 8 at 315. Today I got 3 sets of 8 at 365 and 1 set of 4 at 365. So I was only really missing 4 repetitions that I really, really wanted to get for the whole day. I got the leg extensions done. I got the leg curls done, even though my hamstrings were just trashed. But I'm not really sure if it was my hamstrings that were trashed or if it was my nervous system. I'm pretty sure it was my nervous system. But I just didn't have anything more in the tank, and a lot of it is because I did not eat prior to training. So, I basically was training heavy, back to the same old intensity. I was training at the same old intensity, but with no fuel in the tank. And I did well until I ran out of energy. And so I don't feel as bad as I did last week mentally. I really felt like I shit the bed, and that maybe my body just could not go beyond where it is right now. I was really starting to get pretty down on myself. But after Wednesday, I felt a lot better. Yeah, I skipped, some more workouts in between Wednesday and Sunday, but I feel so much better about myself now. So, going into my next upper body workout, I really do feel like I can kind of get that mojo back. I still haven't gotten, that same level of drive that I, had for basically 2 years straight, where I was able to train 7 to 10 times a week. Now I'm just training, twice a week. Over the last month or month and a half, I've only really trained twice a week, which is really bad for me. That's really bad for me. So I'm starting to get that mojo back. We got the Indian Jesus. He says, shout out to PBR. One of the reasons why I sent this link to TIJ, and welcome to the stream, brother. I sent, hold on a second. You're a very special person, so you get mod privileges on this channel. I went into TIJ's community post, and he was talking about um, guys in and out of relationships who leave their notifications on, turn their notifications off, presumably because you're in a relationship, and maybe there are things that you don't want your significant others to see. And I really thought about it, and I realized that a lot of us guys have been really approaching women all wrong from the jump. Once I understood the concept that a woman likes you or she doesn't, that's when I started to understand that it does not matter whether or not she sees what's on your lock screen or she doesn't, because a woman that's really into you, if you're honest with her and just say, hey, this is who I am, if she really wants to be with you, she will rationalize everything that you do or say to make sure that she fits herself into your life. And a woman that is not really into you will tell you that you need to spend $500 on the first date, and you need to only look at her and only think about her, and you need to be ready to get hit by a car and make sure she doesn't get hit by a car. You need to make sure that when there's a mugger, that you get stabbed and shot and not her. A woman that's really into you will TIJ is asking a question on the back end, and basically I'm using an iPhone, but here's the thing with the iPhone. I am using the iPhone setting on the microphone where it isolates the voice. So if you'll notice, I'm not using my DJI mic that I was using a lot. I found that the quality of the vocals for the listener has improved by just using isolation mode, even when I'm streaming with the top down in the car on a busy street, right? So if the audio sounds crisp and clear, thank you. This experiment is working. Now back to the subject at hand. I will be a little critical of the comment that I see here from TIJ. Might as well just get an escort. I watched a video while I was training today from a content creator that I hold in high esteem. That is Chisha Zed. CHISHAZED. Definitely go check him out if you don't already know who he is. One of the more soft-spoken, respectful guys doing red pill content today. And he put out a video, I think today, and I watched the beginning of it, and I pretty much shut it off after about 3 minutes. And here's why. He was talking about how this guy has a YouTube channel, and he was reacting to his video about how single men are happier than people think in society. And I know that there's this whole myth of the lonely man epidemic, as if people have not been paying attention to actual society since the beginning of time. Most men are alone and have always been alone since the beginning of time. Now, you guys have been very critical, and rightfully so, of your average everyday feminist for one very particular reason. And we know it as something called cope. Whenever you hear a feminist talk, a feminist says, well, I'm happy to be single because no one is cheating on me. I'm not taking care of nobody's son. And they'll rattle off a bunch of negative things that they purport to not have to deal with. Many of them are untrue. They just have to deal with those negative things themselves. But what I've noticed from your average, bitter, unhappy feminist is that they will say the word happy first and then go into all the negative things they claim they don't need to deal with. And when I listen to this guy talk, one of these black pill MGTOW guys, I heard a bitter, unhappy feminist in every word that he said. And if I am going to rightfully call out the bullshit cope that I see out of radical feminism, where all of the women are chronically unhappy, I cannot let black pillars also get away with using the same language under the same circumstances. I just can't let you get away with it, because there is a lot of room in between being cheated on and all the things that the men's rights advocates, rail against, rightfully so. There's a lot of space in between the worst outcomes with women and the best outcomes with women. And I hate to burst your bubble and disturb your worldview, but the majority of women are worth dealing with. Now, it might only be a slight majority, but we've done a really bad job in that we focused only on the women that have nasty attitudes. We focused on the women we don't want. And we have not properly acknowledged the women who are good, the kind of women that we do want. We have not focused on the good women. We focused on the bad women and then tried to paint them all with a broad brush. Does that sound familiar to you, gentlemen, out there in the world? Gentlemen that have been called e-parists and abusers and toxic masculinity and, colored with a broad brush when the majority of you are not like that. Does that sound familiar to you? Well, I remember a person that I don't like very much, who is related to me, gave me a piece of knowledge. She gave me a nugget of wisdom that I will never let leave me. She said, be careful not to hate people, because when you hate people, you will start to become like them. And what we've seen from the black pillars and the MGTOW guys is that they've railed against feminism only to become feminists. I hate to tell you, men going your own way and I need to leave society, because all these women know it's not all women, just like it's not all men abusing women. It is not all women. It's the women that you choose to focus on. And I think that we need to get back to having a more balanced view and really start thinking about what we can do to bring things back to actual reality. What we see online is the loud minority, and we have to keep this shit in perspective. We have to keep shit in proper perspective. Otherwise, we just took a different flavor of the blue pill. I did a video on the Talking Shit podcast 2 years ago explaining exactly what red pill is. And I told Mrs. Evil, my lady counterpart, that I want to do a follow-up to that video because I have realized that the current foremost, the loudest voices in the red pill community are actually just selling men a different version of blue pill. Now, if we understood the actual context of the parable that was used in the Matrix, when Morpheus offered Neo the opportunity to go down the rabbit hole and see what the real reality is, or take the blue pill, you'll forget this whole experience, you'll go back to believing whatever the fuck the architecture tells you to believe. Well, I hate to tell you guys, but the red pill content creators have just sold you a different blue pill. How? Well, they've sold you a narrative that is not true. It has elements of truth to it. It has elements of truth to it. But they're selling you a reality that is not actual real reality. Case in point. We're going to use the frauds in Florida as an example. The frauds in Florida came to prominence in 2020 when they got a nice high-rise apartment in Brickell in South Florida, where a lot of rich and vapid and empty-headed people spend their time. I've actually stayed in Brickell a couple of times on vacation. And they purposefully curated the type of women that they brought on the show to try to feed men the blue pill that all women are gold diggers, all women are not loyal, all women this, all women are that. And it's not actual truth. So anytime somebody tries to sell you a narrative that is not 100% grounded in reality and cannot absolutely be backed up with facts, figures, and statistics, is selling you a paradigm. They are selling you a narrative, thus is just a different flavor of blue pill. The reality is that the majority of girls are not Miami bimbos. The majority of women are not Miami bimbos. The majority of women are not masculine, insufferable, blue-haired feminists. That's not the majority. But that's what a lot of the red pill content, not all, but some, are trying to sell to you. And if anybody is trying to sell a narrative to you that has their own spin on it, but is not just giving you the truth and letting you decide and instead telling you what to think and feel, it is a different version of blue pill. Because they're still trying to create a falsehood, architecting a false view of the world with some truth to it, architecting a false view of the world that is not 100% grounded in reality. Just like when we were kids and we watched the Disney films alongside the girls, and they told us that girls are sugar, spice, and everything nice, and we found out that was false. Well, guess what? Not just like women are not all sugar and spice and everything nice. They're not all, divorce rapists, false accusers looking to take advantage of you. And we need to make sure that we keep things in their proper perspective. Otherwise, you're going to sound just like the feminists, trying to convince people that you're happy while sounding miserable as fuck. Good God Almighty. Don't get caught up. Let's check out TIJ's comments before he bounces. He said the difference is, I'm not saying they're all or mostly bad. I'm saying the ones out there are an inevitability to find the good ones that absolutely exist. Let me read that again because I'm not sure I got the context properly. The difference is, I'm not saying that they're all or mostly bad. I'm saying the ones out there are an inevitability to find the good one that absolutely exists. I still don't get the context of that. I know that there's great women out there, but the forces of the landscape keep good women defensive. And you know what? I think that is a very good point to make because, I watched a different video from a female content creator that apparently used to be aligned with that racist chick Pearl. She claims to have black boyfriends, but she brings on white supremacists on her platform or whatever. I don't know. But this one chick has a channel that's pretty successful. She said something that I watched today during my workout that I thought was interesting. She said a lot of these women are just non-confrontational, so they may not agree with modern day feminism as far as the responsibilities of being equal to men in society. but they're not going to speak out against it because they don't want to be out of lockstep with other women, even if they don't agree, which obviously leads to their own ruin and downfall, right? The bad ones are inevitable to find the good ones. I'll touch on that. I'll touch on that later, because I believe that if a woman of any kind is attracted to the bad ones, she's not a good woman. She wants problems. If you're a woman that wants problems, you're not a good woman. And we have to raise our standards as to what we deem a good woman to be. A good woman has good, sensible values and makes good decisions. And if she's chasing after the guys that she knows that she doesn't, that don't care about her, let her have her reality that she's gunning for. She's not for you. So we need to make sure that we're not confounding what we consider to be a good woman. Just because a woman doesn't have an OnlyFans and a triple-digit body count doesn't mean that she's a good woman or that she's a good woman for you. A good woman is a woman that wants peace from you and is wanting to give you peace in return. Said, give me your bottom line about the escorts. I don't even do that. I'm just saying that's why. Why is it different than a foodie date? To me, a chick that tries to go on a foodie date is an escort that is not honest with herself. She's a prostitute. Even if you don't have a OnlyFans account, if you only look at men not as human beings, but as entities to extract resources from while giving the least amount of effort as possible, you're not a good woman. You're not a woman worthy of marriage. You're not a woman worthy of family. You're not a woman worthy of respect. You're a woman that is worthy of the minimal respect where we will not interfere with your lifestyle, but we are certainly not going to condone it or perpetuate it by giving you, we're not going to give you the, we're just not going to give you the attention that you were seeking. We're only going to give you the attention you deserve, and that's none. I'm not going to be angry at foodie call dates. I'm not going to be angry at the chick demanding cars and apartments and Birkin bags. I'm not angry at those women. Those women no longer exist to me. I don't talk about those women. I don't think about those women. And the minute that we guys start to understand that we have more power in society because our attention actually is valuable, which is why women can't live without our attention. When we stop giving attention to bad women, they will die off. Stop making babies with the Brittany Renners. They will die off. Only give your attention to good, sensible women that respect themselves, respect the people around them, and actually like you. Newsflash, a woman that demands a $500 dinner on the first date doesn't like you. A woman that wants to be around you and wants to make sure that you're okay and well taken care of, that's the good woman for you. We're no longer giving attention to the worst. We're not giving attention to Drew Aflalo. The only reason why she's popular is because people keep giving her attention. The only reason why Shira 7 is popular because people keep giving her attention. The only reason why really bad pop music continues to generate funds and revenue and profits is because people keep giving it attention. Start by only watching movies that are good movies. Only listening to music that's good music. Only paying attention to good, decent women that respect themselves and respect other people. Stop giving attention to all the worst women in society and then trying to paint all women with a broad brush. You sound like a feminist. And I don't respect feminists. If you're a black pill guy, you're a feminist. If you're a MGTOW guy, you're a feminist. I don't respect feminists. All right, so I am operating on very little calories. I had a very successful run in the gym today, but I think I've had a total of 195 calories for the entire day. So I'm gonna go home, get a recovery shake, some eggs, follow that up with a quick lunch, follow that up with some rest and some dinner and working with some clients. Keep working hard. Never give up, guys. Stop giving attention to people who don't like you. Stop chasing women that don't like you. Stop giving attention to women that hate men. Only give attention to women that like and respect men. Those are the only women that we're going to give attention to and talk about going forward. Let the rest of them let reality happen to them. Reality is going to happen to them. You don't have to tell them. Reality will happen to them. Live your life. Create the best reality for you. Have a good circle of people that care about you. Take care of those people the best way that you can. Have two-way, mutually beneficial relationships. And only focus on the good that's in the world. There's a lot of good in the world. We don't have to focus on the negatives, guys. All right. I'll be back on or before Wednesday. I am actually going to try to hit a 245 bench press, maybe 3 or 4 reps a set. I'm not going to go crazy because I've been kind of off my game with my upper body work. So I'm going to kind of fall back on the intensity. Try to come back on the other side and get some nice volume with the lower top weight intensity. Build myself back up. Next month, guys, I'm going back to strength. So I'm hoping that I can, do some at least 1 rep at 275 in the bench. I'm hoping. But I'm going to be doing some max testing next month, so stay tuned for that. By the end of this strength mesocycle, I want to get a 315 squat, a 495/500 pound deadlift, and a 295 pound bench press. I want to hit a legitimate 1,000-pound club before the end of 2025, before my body completely breaks down. So definitely stick with me if you want to see more about, how I'm going to go from trying to put on muscle to put on strength through the end of the year, trying to get that 500-pound deadlift, 315-pound squat, and 295 bench press. Thank you guys, as always, for supporting what I do here on this channel. I'm really tired. It is time for me to go. Eat your vegetables, get your protein in. Don't skimp on your workouts. And keep working for what you want. Keep working for what you want. It's not going to be handed to you. Peace out.